Hey, Adi,
Hey,
do you know how many households you're allowed to have in California for Thanksgiving?
if I had to take a magic number guess, it would be three, two, one. It's the Shant and Ari podcast, you guys. Episode number 62.
Yes.
Shant, how you feeling today, big guy?
Feeling good. Getting excited for Thanksgiving. It's coming up. What are we, 2 weeks away?
We are, I think, yeah, I would say we're about less than 2 weeks away. This is one of the most exciting holidays for me, probably the second favorite holiday.
Which is
Um,
first?
Halloween. Halloween's my
Really?
yeah. I like Halloween a
You're
lot.
Aladdin
It's the
for
slutty
Halloween.
costumes that really do it for me.
You're Aladdin, weren't you, for Halloween?
Aladdin.
The proper way, sorry.
Yeah, I was Aladdin and my girlfriend was Yasmina. So one of my favorite holidays for the fact that we always used to get together
Yes.
for Thanksgiving. We used to drive down from Boston to New York, see you guys over the holidays. We would make a long weekend out of it. Wednesday night to Sunday afternoon would be like the depressing goodbye. Go
Hmm.
back to your regular life situation. Favorite holiday for that reason, if I had to gun to my head pick a last holiday, would probably be that. But we get to, I guess, relive some of that November funness this week. Gonna see you in a couple of
Yeah.
days, Shant.
Yeah. But unfortunately for a lot of people this year, Thanksgiving is not going to be as um, fun memory as other places.
So tell me a little bit about what Governor Newsom and Cuomo are doing to New Yorkers and Californians. Tell me a little bit about what you were talking about earlier. Yo, we're
Yeah.
lucky that we're not in New York and California because these are two states that you could have ended up or I could have ended up. So yeah.
Yeah. So the governor of New York, Cuomo, he has come out and said this is more like this is what he prefers. But so the funny thing is he's doing this is not the end of the world. I don't think this is that bad, but he said no gatherings over 10 people at private residences
What's he gonna do? Send the
starting
SWAT team?
for Thanksgiving. Uh, there has been a lot of pushback from like sheriffs. I've seen a bunch of articles come out where they're saying they're not going to enforce it because they're not going to waste resources driving around looking at cars in the parking lot trying to count how many
That's great.
how many people are at the freaking gathering.
Right.
So that's New York. Not terrible. I mean, he's basically trying to say, be responsible. Don't have 30, 40, 50 people at your house. Okay. The California Governor Newsom, son-in-law of Nancy Pelosi, great people there.
Whoa,
Uh,
is that real? Is that true?
yeah, yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah. Are you
Funny.
surprised?
A little bit, yeah.
So they came out and said the Thanksgiving gathering should be held outside. Okay. The guests may use the bathroom inside if it's sanitized. Masks on if while you're not eating. So like you could take your mask off in between drinks and food. You have to social distance, so 6 feet apart from everyone for Thanksgiving. Okay. It doesn't end there. Max 2 hours together. Don't go past 2 hours, guys. If just get the turkey done, eat it, and get the fuck out. Okay.
Go home. See you next year.
Go Black Friday shopping because that's probably essential. Okay. Um, Singing is strongly discouraged. No singing, no yelling, no shouting. If you are going to, please have your mask on, it says.
This is real. Is this like written?
Yeah, yeah. It's like he fucking yeah. It's
Wow.
he took a lot of time and put this together.
Is he on crack?
What are your thoughts?
I don't know how many families in the
Three
United States
households,
sing.
3 households per residence.
How, when did we have we ever sung at Thanksgiving dinner?
Yeah, we have. Well, our parents have probably drunk.
Hammered, drinking hell, singing hell Paga.
Imagine this year, like if we were all together and our dads were just drunk singing. We're like, guys, shh, don't.
Yeah.
Please, governor.
Section 3 of the Thanksgiving social distance mandate for 2020. It's fucked. That is absolutely absurd. I'm so happy that I'm not doing anything for Thanksgiving this year. That way I don't have to observe any of these absurd rules. Are you guys actually getting together for Thanksgiving?
Yeah, we should have probably like 15, 20 people together.
You're kidding me.
No, but it's everyone that it's like our family. Like it's my parents, Betty's sisters, the kids, all this stuff. It'll equal to like 15 or so people. I mean,
Is your brother going to be there too?
no, he won't be here.
15 people? Are you fucking kidding me?
I think. Why is that not allowed?
That's a lot of people just for regular.
But it's 2 households. No, it's 3 households because then the boyfriend and stuff. So yeah, it's.
Oh, the boyfriends too, huh? Nice. It's a lot of people.
Are you gonna rat me out?
I mean, depends on what your governor mandated. I'm just saying that's just a lot of people. We're not doing any Thanksgiving at all.
Like nothing.
Nothing.
Well,
I don't know if you've been Sacco.
Yeah.
I mean, he might have like a turkey sandwich, but
Wow.
I mean, other than that. So yeah, long story short though, I don't think we're going to be doing anything. We even cancel. We haven't normally our company, our catering company offers complete Thanksgiving dinners for sale, and we don't even have any.
Wow.
Yeah. We got like a couple phone calls, but other than that, we just rejected it. And speaking of our company, pretty exciting getting further down into the discussion and subsequent process of opening a second location.
How's that
getting
looking?
The ball
It's going good?
going great. Yeah. Going pretty good. Hopefully we'll have more information as to when soon. Been doing a lot of reading as to how to manage, because it's scary, man. You can scale and have a ton of other shit be thrown at you, but when it's a second actual physical location that needs your attention, you can't be
you're juggling.
Right. It's like your nerves start to get a little racked. So I keep on asking people for like time. And I guess the one valuable resource that I didn't have up until now is people that I know with chain businesses. Do you know anybody with a chain business?
I do.
Send them my way because I got some questions that I'd like to ask them. But caught me off guard there a little bit, Shant. Earlier this past week, you had posted up a screenshot to your story of a book that you're reading, Patrick Bet-David's Your Next 5 Moves. Decided to start listening to it today. Mm-hmm. What made you pick that up?
Because he's been talking about that book a lot. He's been pushing it, but it's Your Next 5 Moves. Hang on, let me
and I don't mean to get into a discussion about the book until I've actually finished it, but
it's so the art of business strategy. So I like strategizing. I like thinking moves ahead a lot. Like I do that a lot. I don't know if I do 5 moves or 2 moves, whatever it is. But so I was like, okay, I wanted to see where I'm at. I got this book to see, am I on the right track? What am I missing? Am I looking 2 moves ahead when I should be looking 5 moves? And what are the 3 moves that I'm missing? So that's why I got the book to see. um, where I'm at.
So, like, I guess if I asked you, like, how are you doing? Are you planning out 5 moves ahead?
No, like, and I'm waiting to get through the book to like see the full picture because I don't really see it yet. The 5 moves that he talks about. I know he's kind of in the weeds right now, but excuse me. I wanted to. I don't know how. I think I just think 2 moves ahead. Like, let's say doing a flip, right? I'm thinking, what are my 2 exit strategies if it doesn't work? So I'm thinking 2 moves ahead. Does that make sense? So I want to know what is so I got the book to know like what else should I be looking at? What
Right.
are the things? So that's where I'm at right now.
Beautiful. So, all right. Once both of us, I guess, finish up this book, I want to come back and revisit this. But the reason why I'm mentioning it now is to sort of paint the picture for you that this type of a resource has already begun to start coming in handy in sort of mentally planning out what sorts of things in planning out your next steps are important. For example, right now, my most critical issue that I'm trying to solve is how to successfully replicate myself.
I'll tell you,
Um,
he said it in the book already.
was that
You already said it in the book. And I'm sure you're at that point yet so far. You said you read 4 hours listened to 4 hours of it.
right? So it's definitely it's a lot of information that I still haven't really completely agreed with yet. And one of the things that sort of caught me off guard was the whole, you may not actually love what you do. One of the aspects of it was realizing, after a while that you hate what you do. So I guess, Shant, I wanted to sort of ask you a question. Is it possible for you to be a successful entrepreneur and hate doing whatever it is that you're doing, are these two things completely independent of one another?
So define success, like how because I think you can make a lot of money doing something you don't like, right? But to be the best in your field, so that's why I asked what you determine as success. But to be the best in your field, to crush the competition, I mean, if you hate what you do, I don't think that's possible. Now, do you have to love and it has to be your passion? Love, maybe. Passion is different. My passion is basketball. That's my only real passion, right? That like I grew up on. So I mean, I could still be very successful without doing anything basketball related. But I
I
love
see.
real estate. So
So one of the things that I've been noticing about myself these past few years is like, listen, like for me, it's a very, very difficult, it's a tricky question to ask. It's like, all right, which one do you like more, the restaurant business or the car business? And I kind of lean more towards the restaurant business. Mainly the reason why is because of sort of not having anybody really to respond to. Even if you say that like, oh, your customers are the people that you're responding to, right? But if you're selling a product that's consistent enough or good enough, you never really actually respond to anybody.
so in the car business, you were responding. You had kind of like a person to
Constantly.
deal with, but in the restaurant, you don't. Now, quick question before you move on. Have you gone back and forth during this past few years? Like, did you like were you like, I'm over the restaurant, I like the car business? Like, have you gone back and forth, and what has changed?
I will tell you that my going back and forth, it wasn't really so much a back and forth. It's more just I went forth and I came back because I'm realizing more and more that, you love people like saying it that like, oh no, your customer is your boss or whatever it is. In the car business, you have a bunch of different bosses. you have, your boss that is your customer, then you have your boss that is your, okay, you gotta fucking finagle these relationships with shitbags that work at the dealerships that you're working with. And there's just so many different moving parts. One month they're feeling good, next month they're not, and everything is just riding on just you getting lucky
So
constantly.
so I think you always have a boss if you're in the service industry, right? And I know kind of restaurant is service, but it's not, because I'll touch on that. So like my landscaper, he's providing a service, right? So I'm technically kind of like his boss, right? You at the restaurant are selling a product. So you do serve it technically, but you're selling a product, and it is what it is. You're not really, they're not your boss.
But they are. Let me tell you
Yeah.
why. So if they are unhappy for whatever reason, normally in the food business, there's very, very little to be actually resolved. When
Yeah.
it's almost like a pass fail. There is no, you could have done better a little bit here, but this was fine. It's just there's only one or two things really that you could have fucked up. One is the product, the second is the service. So it really very much is your customer that holds your whole scorecard in their hand, because it's all right. Like, even if you nailed the service aspect, you're still at 50% anyway. So you failed regardless. So that's why I consider the food business to be very cut and dry, very straightforward. Whereas the car business, there's a bunch of different aspects where you could have done great, did bad, whatever. There's a little bit more understanding, but there's a lot more bosses controlling the whole thing happening for you. With the food business, you just got to make sure that Restaurant Depot has chicken in stock. So that's the very reason why I love the restaurant business, and another reason why I guess the food business really does do it for me more than the car business is that there's just days where you're not feeling it,
Mm-hmm.
right? But that doesn't translate into less sales. You're not, and I understand this might go against the very notion of sales, being a salesman, but the amount of leeway that you have in your sales company, like a restaurant, when you're having a bad day, is a lot better than the amount of leeway you have on a bad day at a car dealership or a real estate company. So just
Makes
the
sense.
flexibility and how forgiving the restaurant is a little bit more encouraging, as opposed to the car business. So I guess where I want to lead this discussion is okay, is it a bad thing to like one more than the other? And is it a part of success, being a successful entrepreneur, being a successful businessman, is knowing what you like and how you like to help people? Because realistically speaking, Sean, me and you, we're sort of no different in terms
Mm-hmm.
of what we're doing. We both have a product that we're trying to sell somebody on.
Yeah.
How we do it, where we do it, might be the only differentiation. But other than that, it's pretty much the same shit. But I guess the culture in which what you're doing is what's separating us. So I guess the question really is could you get tired of what you are selling, or could you come to the realization that you no longer like whatever it is that you're involved with? Is it still an option for
So
you?
you hit a good point when you said you could be doing something you don't like, right? And I think you have to do a bunch of things to know what you don't like to actually figure out what you like to do, right? Um, I don't know if I'm going to like selling houses, but until I did it, I wasn't going to know for sure. Um, Now, as far as the sales part, I don't. There are some people who it doesn't matter what they sell; they're just like they're just salespeople, right? They just like to sell. So it doesn't matter what they're selling. It could be a house, it could be sneakers, it could be printers, it could be fucking anything. They just like to sell a product. That's different than selling a product, running a business, marketing, this, that, and the other, fucking payroll, employees, managing. It's different. I kind of went on to what was the question? The fucking
Is it possible? Is it really, really possible to hate what you do after a while of doing what you thought you always wanted to do? Do you think
some
that?
people,
Do you think that it's very much? Is it allowable?
for some people, yes. I think it's a stupid answer, but I think some people could get by with something they hate and do it for 15, 20, 25 years. There's certain people who have shorter fuses. And like me, I probably was like that before. Now I'm just like, if I don't like it, I'm just not going to do it anymore. Now, can I stick it out for a couple of years just to like do what I got to do? Yes, but I'm thinking few moves ahead while I'm doing it. I have a bigger end game. I'm not just doing it to do it. So, case in point, um, I'm doing what I'm doing right now. I don't love it. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. But I'm doing it because I have a couple of moves planned ahead where I got to do this right now temporarily 4, 5, 7 years to be able to do what I really want. Does that make sense?
It makes so much sense. And like, okay, if we were to get fucking super specific here, like I got a YouTube channel, I got a consulting company. If you were to tell me, Adi, throw it all out, burn it, and start all over, I could do it. I could do it. If the channel and the consulting company was like, instead it was like a restaurant consulting company, and like the YouTube channel was like all about how to successfully market your restaurant, I'd do it. I don't know why my head is where it is, but fuck it. I've learned that, oh, by the way, I got rid of my Porsche.
No way.
Fuck it. It wasn't doing it for me anymore.
What do you got?
I got a red Kia.
Prius?
A Kia. Sold.
What kind?
The
Kia
box?
sold? No.
I swear to God.
Shut the fuck up.
I am really not kidding.
And guys, I'm not knocking the Kia Soul or anything, but coming from the kid, when I've known this, how long have I known you? How old did you come to this country?
I'd say like a seed, like
Like 2 years old?
a peanut, maybe. Yeah.
2 years old you came? Since I've known you, this guy has had BMW, Ferrari, Lamborghini, toy cars, driven all those cars, not the Ferrari, Lamborghinis, but you've always had the BMWs, now the Porsche. To go to a Kia, I'm done, man. 2020 is fucked.
Second location. You got to start doing things. So you got to start doing things that are just in your best interest of what you got to do. But more than just that, I could have kept the Porsche and really spread myself out very, very thin. But I didn't give a flying fuck. You know what I said? All right, take back the Porsche right now. Because right now, what feels right is just going all in into what I actually give a fuck about. Porsche can wait. Fucking, if I needed to start a completely new alter ego on YouTube that's all about the channel, or sorry, all about the catering and takeout company, so be it. Whatever feels right, feels right. Whatever feels weird, feels weird. If you're in a relationship with somebody for 20, 30 years and you guys should have been out 15, 20 years ago, but she doesn't know how to do anything except for, leech off you, and you don't have anything else going for you anyway, and you guys stuck in it, you got to wake up to the fact that, listen, like you're just completely just coast along.
Yeah.
So I think the very idea is be okay with snapping out and hopping into whatever does feel right. No matter what, no matter who you think might have a fucking opinion about it, or like you're worried about being questioned or somebody thinking you're kind of weird for doing whatever,
Mhm.
who the fuck cares? I think what I'm getting at with this is what I've been listening to over the past few weeks is the amount of criticism that you're worried about getting, just worried about getting, will stop you from even taking a risk. And it's not even just the criticism that you're going to get from other people, but the criticism that you're even willing to give yourself for failing, as in beating yourself up for taking that risk and not succeeding, as opposed to not beating yourself up for not trying to begin with.
Yeah, because it's that's crazy that you did that, but um, I respect
I'll
it.
have it back next year, bro.
No, I
Like,
respect it because I was ready to give up my car too to drive like a $3,000 car, but you talked me out of it.
meanwhile, I was
uh,
making plays on the
yeah,
other
yeah,
end.
yeah, you piece of shit. All right, because like me and Betty talk about this all the time, and it's like I have no problem because we talk about this. Like, what if we move somewhere, a different state? And it's like if we do, we would have to start from scratch. And guess what? I'd be okay with it
I'm
because
telling
I
you.
kind of want to like test myself too, right? Like, even though I kind of did it here, but I kind of wanted to do it again to see like, am I good enough to fucking just start from scratch and just so like the second restaurant, that's starting from scratch.
Right. But guess what? You're starting from scratch. You're starting from zero with so much prior knowledge.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah.
So much quicker momentum
You've
will
made
be
the
made.
mistakes.
It's just, that's why I'm completely okay. Like next time around on the next Porsche or like the next Ferrari, I know exactly like what to
So,
do, how to do it.
so with this new restaurant, what are some things that you learn that you are starting different, right? Like your five moves, right? Like looking ahead. What are those moves? A couple of them, not all five, but like what are some moves that you're like, I'm implementing this which we never did or we just did recently right away and kind of looking ahead. Like what are some of those moves?
All right. So first things first, I was reluctant to have sort of like a grand opening type of a party when we first opened up Ani back then, and I didn't capitalize and I didn't ask for help from anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So first move is building up anticipation and
Having,
building up a lot of hype
yeah,
around it. Second is being feeling comfortable enough asking for help with not just marketing, but asking for help literally inside the store, like asking one of my buddies to come in and work for free, feeling okay with somebody saying, hey, I helped him when he first opened, right? It's being able to reach out and ask for the help, the same help that you could have used when you first started whatever you started the first time around. Now you're okay with asking for it for the second time around because it's like legit, I succeeded the first time. Anyway,
yeah.
third thing is being okay with the fact that you may not be doing anything else for the next few months to the next couple of years. Accepting that. Accepting the fact that you may not go on a vacation.
So this vacation might be your last one coming up this week.
Who knows? We'll see. And another thing is hiring, right? So I had an experience hiring a few people, or sorry, I had the experience of hiring somebody in less than 24 hours a few months ago by putting up a very, very catchy Craigslist ad with me and my father's picture in it. And, I had a bunch of phone calls within the first day, had somebody working 2 days later. So it was just very, very quick. So knowing how to successfully market an open position, having the correct amount of help, having the correct amount of patience, and the last thing is really just having trust, more trust now, or getting yourself to have more trust now um in whatever is going on around you. So being a few steps ahead is setting yourself up physically and mentally for the
Yeah,
um
you know it's coming. You know what's
right.
coming. You're prepared for it. Now, did you hear the part in the book where he said, and I've heard this before from other CEOs, where hire slow, fire fast?
Yeah, that was actually right before I got on the podcast.
Okay, yeah. And then one thing he said, man, in that book, I don't have um, a company or anything like that where I have employees or stuff, but I'm looking forward to one day having that, where he talked about having values and principles and having everyone buying in. Did you get to that part yet?
Love that part. I couldn't believe that he even discussed anything like this in this book. I thought it was going to be so much more like entrepreneur in the
Yeah, just
sense that like very simple types of.
and he talked about doing it in your relationship, talked about doing it in life, and just like having like not so he talked about in the book where he has his values and principles laid out so everyone knows, right? This is what the company's made of. And you have to have everyone buy in to your vision, right? Like if your vision, Adi, is to one day have Ani takeout across Boston, metro area, you want to have the people buy into that, right? Because now they're going to follow you, right? And also having them within the values that you and your dad have, right? Because you guys, I know how you guys are, the values and principles, how you should treat a customer, and how you treat the food, the quality, all that stuff. And it's like, if even your best employee, and he talked about how the best salesman he had that was netting millions and millions of dollars, if they don't buy in, gets rid of them
Right.
because that's a cancer to your organization.
100%.
Like it's just, and we all kind of know this, but like the more you speak it out, it's like, fuck, man, that shit's so important.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's not just knowing it. It's like really implementing and making sure others know that that's also important to you, not letting anything go sort of assumed or anything like that.
Because
Really
Betty, so real quick, because Betty works for Carvana. She's bought in. She knows the CEOs, and she's bought into their vision. Like and their principles and values. So like it's I see it. I see it where like if someone buys in to the CEO, to the boss, it makes people like actually work for you
oh
and
yeah.
work with you and having ideas. Like if you have your um delivery driver come to you and say, hey Adi, I think if we do something like this, like you should have an open book of like, yo, I need you to come with some ideas like that you could like Betty had an idea where she's like, hey, we need a better onboarding system for all these new hires. So they're like, okay, just do it. So like if you have that where these people feel comfortable coming to you, now they feel they're part of the team. And then about the profit sharing and all that stuff, like that was just next level.
I was just about to ask you that. What are your thoughts on letting somebody who's worked for you for like 2 years um, dip into your profits?
I love that idea. I think it's
How
my
much?
my real estate company that I was with, the team, Joshua and stuff. That's one thing how he wanted to keep me is through profit sharing. And that was very attractive to me because so you don't like it so much, you said?
No, no, I didn't say
Oh, okay.
anything about it. I,
So
I, I think you assumed.
okay. No, I thought you said something, not so much. I don't know if you were just
I,
finishing your sentence or
no, no, no. I sort of after you finish, I wanted to know your take is on how much.
oh, how much you said. Okay.
Yes.
I think it depends, right? I think it depends. It's hard in probably your restaurant to, but I'm sure some people do it where, because you want to tie it to them working harder and bringing in more money, right? Because that's how you could see the benefit and they could see the benefit, and they're kind of like now their own entrepreneur, right? So it's like, what can the person in your organization, in your company, Ari, do to bring in more profit, more customers? Like, what can they do?
Huh. Maybe they could post on their social media, and if they were, if the person that came in on their post used the specific coupon code, they could be rewarded like $1 per customer that they bring in, or like $3 per customer that they bring in.
Or
I don't
what about also that, and then getting great reviews from customers and in them shouting you out, or having like a loyalty program. Because I go to a lot of restaurants and they're like, oh, if you like, I was at fucking KFC because I think who wanted KFC? Someone on KFC. I go to KFC. This guy was fucking great at KFC, and then he's like, I've never been to KFC, bro. Never in my life. I walk in. I was ordering something for someone. He's asking me questions. I'm like, dude, I've never been here. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like, explain it. And he was just like breaking it down, explain this is this, blah, blah, blah. It was just great. And then he's like, after I paid, I got the receipt. He's like, hey, there's a customer survey thing. If you fill it out, if you can you fill it out? Has his name tied to it. Boom. I went in the car, did it right away. He was so good. So like, if you have stuff like that, if your people are treating customers great, why not give them not bonus, he said profit sharing, but if you're going to exceed profits year by year, why not have them take a little piece of that?
Right. Right. Bonuses. He was more equity and profit sharing. I think that for a restaurant, it's probably bonuses,
Yeah,
performance based.
tough to do profit sharing and equity, but bonuses would be great. I think it makes people work. I think he said it makes people work harder with equity and profit sharing rather than bonuses. But I think in a restaurant, I think it'd be a great thing to do. Um,
So,
yeah, if you could, are you going to think about implementing some of those stuff?
yeah. Yeah. I would love that. I'm right now, my mind is all about how to get the best help.
Mm.
I got really fired up at a lot of the different concepts that I've been hearing over the past few weeks, and one of them is how how important a good manager is to the success of your company. And I'm so excited to sort of get people that are exactly like me. And the reason why I say that is because I'm starting to become a lot more lenient in me, in who I was versus sort of who I am now, in the sense that, like, all right, the shawarma doesn't have to be cut fucking perfectly. It's okay if you don't cut it how I cut it. It's okay if the salad doesn't have the correct amount of tomatoes in proportion to the cucumber. It's okay. It's completely okay. So I've started to become a lot more trustworthy of other people doing what they're doing. And I'm looking forward to sort of recreating my mentality in somebody else. But more than just that, I'm looking more forward now into providing that sort of feedback that I'm looking for right now and guidance to other people that come and say, hey, do you know anything about running a chain of restaurants? I would love to be that person that, an Armenian person asks me or whatever, hey, Adi, can you give me some advice on this?
Are you looking for a manager who's been in the game, done it, been there, done that? Or are you looking more for a younger, someone you could kind of train, but someone who has great, like experience in other areas maybe, but like what are you more towards looking for your
I'm
manager?
looking more toward, what I'm looking for is a younger, not so much experience, doesn't have many insane qualifications that distracts them from putting in their effort into this that wants to grow with the company, as in wants to make this their number one priority, but is still at an age where they're still sort of at like a, they haven't seen it all.
Yeah, and I think, I think you're hitting it right on the head, because Patrick Bet-David talked about this in the book, where you if you get someone like that, where you kind of train them, mold them, like not how you want them to, but like they have to have some experience, but where they see a path. So like they go after your vision, right? Your vision, you have to let them know, like, I want to take over this fucking Boston, right? Like that might be your vision. I'm pretty sure that probably is your vision. Like, I want to take over Boston, and you're going to be a major part of that, the manager you're talking to. And like, there's going to be room for you for being more than a manager here. Like when people see that and feel that, that's my last real estate company. I saw that, I felt that, dude. That made me want to go to bat for that dude. It made me want to stick it out and see where I could go. So like, if you have that vision where like, dude, this is not it, and you're just manager, no way. This is like the stepping stone for you. If we have 10 places, now you're looking at a bigger role, bigger position, bigger responsibility. Now you're like an entrepreneur. Like that's the kind of person you want to attract. I think that's what you're
100%. Yeah. Somebody that can grow with the company and is at an age where they don't mind investing some of their time to grow with the company. I find myself in a position where I started in this at a young age. I took compensation that was not in line with what I deserved for an opportunity to say, listen, I started when it was in its experimental phase, and I ate shit for a decent amount of time until the business could afford to pay me a decent salary. So I'm looking for somebody else that's sort of like that, in that mindset, and not somebody that needs to, feed 5 kids or has to pay fucking 4 different child support payments. You know what I mean? I'm just in it to sort of, have somebody else grow as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited. For future
awesome.
episodes.
Yeah, like, I want to, see that throughout the process too, man. I want to like be in it from afar, just like watching it, fucking,
Yeah. You can hear some new insights, completely different perspective. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a very, very fun ride. I'm looking forward to sort of finding out more about myself, finding out more about your thoughts about what you're doing now versus how strongly you feel about what you're doing now later on, once you hear about what I'm doing differently versus what I'm doing now. It's going to be a fun little comparison, I think.
Yeah, it's crazy because like we're similar but different. So for me, it's been more positioning partnerships, right? In the business, that me and my actual business partner, like we're like the CEO, right, of the company, right? So where it's like he's CEO, I'm CEO, whatever it is, doesn't matter. But then like we bring on partners here and there to further our business. It's kind of like different, but it's not like a manager we're bringing on. It's like another partner, equity share, right? It's more equity based we give out. So it's different. I'm all about giving, because I remember you asked me why are we giving the contractor equity? Remember this a couple of weeks ago you asked me.
Now it makes more sense.
Yeah.
Make them work harder, make them work a little bit cheaper.
It's also helping. It's them buying into our vision. He bought into our vision of like, this is what we're looking for, and you're here for the ride. We're gonna, you do this, you'll get some of this. So yeah, dude. That's why I'm all about that. We're not greedy, and I know you're not either. So it's trying different shit, bro. Not the traditional. Bless you.
I put it on mute, so
I know I saw that. It was slick. But on YouTube, they were going to see you sneezing. So
yeah, very, very exciting. I'm happy that you mentioned that weeks ago and then re-mentioned it. Still really need to figure out what the suggestion would be for anybody that's in a restaurant, what a good equity type offer would be to a possible candidate. The golden handcuffs is maybe something that I want to talk about in the next episode of the Shant and Ari podcast
So
regarding
break that down a little bit. Give them a little teaser with the golden handcuffs.
golden handcuffs are a system in which you keep an employee locked into your business by rewarding them for their participation and successes while at the company. You don't give them equity that they get to keep or continue receiving after they leave the company. So golden handcuffs are a system of keeping somebody within your business, within your company, but that's not necessarily a bad thing either, because they are also rewarded for staying with the company, just as long as they meet their objectives. I want to talk about in the next episode, not just the golden handcuffs, but what separates you from everybody else in your industry. Why would somebody want to work for Ani when they can work for Ripsime? So what separates you? It can't be just the money.
No. All right. Well, yeah, I got some good ideas. I'm sure we'll get the more ideas from the book as we go, but
exciting.
So we didn't even touch on it, and because we're probably running out of time. Our main topic was: do you think it's are you for having a boss or not? So maybe we should just hit that next week. Well, a couple of days from now.
Yes. To be discussed.
Hey, real quick before we go, you got the heads up we're getting these vaccines? Are you gonna take the vaccine?
Oh shit. I am. I'm planning on taking the vaccine unless you can give me a very, very good reason as to why I shouldn't be taking this vaccine.
Well, first of all, whatever I say, don't be. We talked about this before, not this topic, but don't be a sheep and just listen to me or anyone else. Yeah. The research I've been doing and I've seen, so usually vaccines take a couple of years to come out and be effective. So I talked to a few health professionals and stuff, and they said I would not take the first round. Wait till like a new batch comes out after they fuck up, see the fuck ups.
Somebody grows like a sixth toe or something like that.
Yeah. So, and now a new company, Pfizer, came out first with the announcement that they had a vaccine 90% effective. Now a new company came out. What?
No, that one was the first one. You're talking about Moderna.
Moderna came out a couple recently and said theirs is 94% effective.
Yeah, you're talking about the Armenian.
He's not just Armenian. I mean, there's a whole bunch of. He's not fully Armenian, is he?
Nubar.
But is he the main owner of?
Yeah. He owns like 17 other companies as well.
Moderna.
He's a venture capitalist.
Ownership. Oh, he's a venture capital. But it says Stephen Bankal is the chief executive officer. Okay.
He's the CEO, yeah, but the owner of the company is Flagship Ventures.
Nubad is the co-founder and chairman. Okay. And another co-founder is Sandra Horning.
But so really, though, what could possibly go wrong? A sixth toe?
Hey, there are some anti-vaxxers that might be listening right now that will fucking
throw out some mythological.
We have some anti-vaxxers and we have some pro-vaccines. I'm just more like, I don't take the flu vaccine. Do you take the flu shot?
I don't, but my dad just did, and I think he's fine.
No, there's nothing. My parents take it every year. There's nothing wrong with the flu shot. I'm just saying I don't take the flu shot, and you could die from the flu.
It's very true.
So I'm going to I probably would want my parents to take the COVID vaccine.
But would you have Leo take the COVID vaccine?
I don't think so.
What's his bitch ass up to anyway? Did he start school yet or not? Like,
Well, you said
got
you were
the
looking
show
for
on
a
the road.
manager. You're looking for a manager. I could. Can you
Just
tell me?
have him just skip kindergarten and just come over, bro.
Just come straight working for you. Maybe by the time you open up an Arizona location, he can manage it.
That would be fantastic. We'll figure this out. Very
Yeah.
exciting time in our lives, I think.
Why don't you guys all just leave us a 5-star review for this great? Fucking Patrick Bet David should leave a 5-star review for talking about his book. By the way,
I'm gonna reach out to Patrick Bet, let him know this episode was partly
sponsored.
by Patrick Bet David. Patrick Bait David. Bait means house of in Arabic.
Yes.
David means David. Good night, Shant.
Good night, everyone.